Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. Today I am going to decorate a basket for a flower girl in a wedding. And so this basket is going to just have flower petals in it that the flower girl will toss out into the aisle. When I purchased the basket, I was looking for the size and shape, and I wasn't thinking that it was a dark color that I wanted to make white. But nonetheless, I planned on covering everything in white anyways, but just made it a little bit harder. But I'm going to start off with wrapping the handle, and I just have a satin ribbon here. I'm going to hot glue at one end and just wind it right up the handle there. I am hot gluing periodically as I go along, and I'm applying the hot glue under the handle where you can't really see. This type of ribbon's a little bit thinner, and I was worried that the hot glue would show through. And then once that is done, I wanted to kind of make a base for it to go inside, so it had like a bottom. I'm going to cover this in fabric, and I didn't want it to be all bunched up at the bottom. That way the flower girl doesn't have any problems grabbing the petals and tossing them out. So I'm just using some cardboard here that I'm going to cover with some fabric, just using hot glue. Didn't need anything fancy, just kind of something that will cover the bottom basically. And I picked the worst fabric to use. This is some kind of sheer gauzy, I'm not sure what it is. It was just a cut of fabric that I found at Hobby Lobby that I thought would be perfect, but is extremely hard to work with. So I did have to layer it as I wrapped everything. So I'm putting a couple of layers down, and I'm just going to hot glue it around the handle so that none of the basket shows through. Once I have it glued around the handle, I'm going to put that base that I just made down so that it holds the fabric in place, and I have a nice bottom to it now. Just again using hot glue. And again, working with this fabric was really hard. So I took some wire. It's a silver colored wire. It's a little bit thicker gauge wire. And I'm just running it along the rim of the basket. And I'm using that to hold this fabric in place. I was having problems with hot glue stain, and it's so slippery. It just seemed like the best fix. And then for the bottom, I wanted to have kind of a puffy feel, I guess. So I used some cotton and then again the fabric, and I'm just going to pull it up around the base, and using that silver wire that I have, kind of a thicker gauge there. I'm kind of tucking and pulling and twisting and trying to really secure it into place. So I just kind of skipped over that. There was a few curse words in there as I tried to get everything together. Like I said before, it's quite difficult, but after a lot of manipulating, I finally got the shape and got it to stay, and just twist the wire and trim it back. But now I have all of my mechanics showing. So to cover it, I'm using a thicker double-faced satin ribbon that I'm just going to run along the edge there. I'm using a little bit of the color from the wedding, trying to bring that color into the basket there. And then again, just using hot glue to cover my mechanics. And then once I have that all hot glued down, comes the fun part of actually decorating it. So I'm just going to make 3 loops on either side, just a twisted ribbon there. I believe it's a double-faced satin again, trying to leave some long tails on, and I'm adding a little bit more of that blue to it. I like this thin ribbon. It has a real nice movement to it, and I always think it looks cute when something that a little kid's going to be handling, because it's going to be kind of waving around and flapping through the air. So I made 4 of these little bundles of bows there. I'm going to put one on each side, so either side of the handle and either side of the non-handled part of the basket. And I thought about putting some more around there, but I figured 4 would be plenty. It's got some movement with the tails, and then, it doesn't look too overbearing. So now that I got the bows in place, I'm just adding a few little flowers, just little little white roses into the center of each bow. Try to kind of finish them off, give them a little bit more of a softer feel. And also with the wedding, it had blue hydrangea with it. And again, I thought about tucking some of that in too, but I just really didn't want to do too much. You don't want to distract from the flower girl and what she's doing. So I'll put these little roses on there, and I did add a little bit of greenery, some spiral eucalyptus around just the front and the back bows on either side of the handle there. So I had this project in mind for quite a few weeks. I was looking forward to doing it. And then it's one of those things where it doesn't quite go from your mind into reality. So I had to do a little bit of compromising. I have a little bit more work into it than I thought it was going to be, but it was definitely worth it. And so now that it's all done, I have a flower girl basket all ready for a wedding, and just got to add some rose petals in it, and it'll be all set. Thank you so much for watching.